Tell me, what's a timberman want with being a wiki?
Just looking to earn a living, just like any man. Starting new.
On the run. Keeping secrets, are you?
No, sir.
Why don't you spill your beans? Why don't you spill your beans? Why don't you spill your beans? How long have we been on this rock? 5 weeks? 2 days? Help me to recollect.
Welcome everybody to the Cast from the Coast. My name is Adam Miles and I'm being joined as always by Tim Johnson and Josh Lambert. How you guys doing?
Good. Excellent.
Right on, man. Right on. We got a good topic of conversation for tonight, gentlemen. This is a movie that kind of hits close to home.
I see what you did there. I see what you did.
All right, don't patronize me, fuckers. But in all seriousness, we did discuss that we were going to do this movie, and now that it's out on Blu-ray and DVD, and I mean, I didn't get out to the limited theatrical releases for it, but this is good. Tonight, we're going to talk about the movie that was filmed last year, well, a year and a half ago, I guess, more, in Nova Scotia, Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, and has recently been nominated for an Oscar for cinematics, or cinematography. The Lighthouse. Tim, do you have a synopsis for us?
It's a little teeny tiny one, though.
All right, go ahead.
Little teeny tiny. The Lighthouse, 2019. 2 lighthouse keepers try to maintain their sanity while living on a remote and mysterious New England island in the 1980s.
1980s or 1890s?
1890s.
1890s. 1980s.
You know what? I would love to see that in the 1980s.
That would have been good.
I would love to.
Fucking hair bands and everything, man. It would have been great. All right, so
what was that? The Canadian Beachcombers.
Oh, the Beachcombers with the Persephone. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the 1890s, we have the 2 lighthouse keepers. So, starring Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson as the 2 lightkeepers. This movie has like no more than like 5 credited people for cast members.
I was going to say the 2 people that are in it.
Well, 2 people plus there was like the female, the mermaid girl. There was one of the other
guy.
Yeah, the blonde-headed guy. The blonde-headed guy. And then there was like one of the other ones, or 2 of the other ones that showed up that were leaving when they were coming or something like this. I think they were credited as well, but that was like it.
Okay.
So, okay. So let's talk about the story here for a minute. Gesundheit, Josh. All right. Talk about the story for a minute here. So the synopsis is pretty straightforward because, well, the movie is actually somewhat straightforward when you're trying to explain what kind of a movie you're going to get into. It isn't until the depths of this movie that you realize it's fucked. I'm just gonna say it straight out. There's some fuck shit in this movie, man. But I mean, what else would you expect from Robert Eggers? So Robert Eggers, the director and writer of this movie, is also famous for his slow burn horror, The Witch, which came out a few years ago now. What, 5 years ago now? And to critical, success. It was a good movie, and it played the circuits, and I thought it was a great movie. So yeah. So the Lighthouse itself, the storyline is so stupid simple. Once again, 2 lightkeepers are relieving 2 other lightkeepers of duty. They're supposed to be there on the rock for 4 weeks, and maintaining the house and the light, and trying to keep their sanity, keep themselves fed, and do their general chores, and leave the rock in 4 weeks.
Well, I think one of them's like a accredited lighthouse keeper, and the other one's like an apprentice. So he's there to kind of learn the role, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Willem Dafoe keeps talking about the fact that it's his light, it's his duty, that's his thing. Lighthouse. And Robert Pattinson's character is brand new to the situation. He's the bitch. He's doing
he's
all.
The hired hand.
He's the hired hand. He does all the housework, all the cooking, all the cleaning. He maintains.
Well, but it does make sense anyway, because you do need someone to keep the upkeep, upkeep of whatever. And Robert Pattinson, he's up during the day when Willem Dafoe is asleep, and then Willem Dafoe's on shift at night with the Lighthouse, right? So that made sense to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like he's the lighthouse keeper, and the other guy's just there to fucking get all the chores and the work done to make sure the place doesn't fall down.
Yeah.
And I think it's the idea. It's like it's an apprenticeship. So you do it for long enough, you get to next time when you go out, you get to be the guy in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they allude to that in the movie too. Like Robert Pattinson and him are talking about, how long it will take for him to be able to take over the light. But it seems like Willem Dafoe's like, not while I'm on fucking shift with you. It's mine.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So it's a very basic premise, but like the synopsis kind of reveals, there's some weird shit that's going on this island that obviously Willem Dafoe in the movie is quite, like, he has a knowledge about the fact that this shit's going on, and either A, it's just part and parcel to doing the job, or B, he's fucking numb to it, or he doesn't see it. But it's not C at one point. So and it's kind of really told from Robert Pattinson's perspective for the most part, because he's the one that's uncovering all this shit as it's being found, and things are going on. So let's talk about the characters here for a minute, though, guys, because synopsis aside, the biggest part of the story is the actual 2 characters that are living together on this island for the 4 weeks. Willem Dafoe,
Thomas Wake.
This is the crustiest
I really like this
fuck that I've almost ever seen on film.
Yep.
This guy is amazing, and Willem Dafoe pulls it off really fucking well.
He does.
Yeah.
Barking orders, fucking go do this.
Yeah. He doesn't take shit from no one. He just gives shit to everybody. And growing up in the Maritimes, in Nova Scotia, Canada, you can't say you didn't meet somebody like this at one point in your life. It was either your grandfather's best friend, or that one fisherman that everybody knows from the middle of town that looks and probably smells that exact same way. You know what I mean? Like, he's a fisherman. He's out in and that's what it is. This character is so based in reality. It's actually the scariest fucking part of the movie, in my opinion. Right.
That's the scariest part.
Yeah.
Well,
just how truthful this character really is.
Adam's ultimate horror movie, Fisherman.
Yeah.
Realistically depicted
by Willem Dafoe. Yeah. So Tim.
But he is the perfect crotchety old seaman.
He is. Tim, what'd you think of Willem Dafoe?
I thought his character. I really liked this movie because I kind of knew what I was like. I knew it was going to be a character piece. Obviously these 2 people are stranded on an island, for 4 weeks, so obviously that's all it's going to be is like, what else is going to happen. But Willem Dafoe, like I don't know, like it was his performance was all over the place, and I mean that in a good way, where one moment he's completely over the top, and like his monologues that he's been doing, and like, the style of slang that he's using, that's, I'm assuming, very appropriate, time based, but like, I don't know, his character, I don't know, it was great. It was just the right amount of over the top that Willem Dafoe can do, but it was nuanced as well. Like, there's one point later on in the movie where he's putting a sea curse on Robert Pattinson. He doesn't blink for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's yelling at him, and he does not blink for 2 minutes. And it's like, yeah, and the whole time, like I said in a previous, I think Willem Dafoe should be the Joker. This role made it even more so, yeah. Like, just the very nuanced craziness. But the thing is, like, and this is what kept me going through the movie, was he really that crazy, or was that just Robert Pattinson's fucking portrayal of him, right?
That's my whole thing. Like, I honestly walk away from this movie not knowing
what happened,
what was real, and what happened. Yeah. Like, there's a moment where William Dafoe's character just, like, breaks the wall and says, "No, you're crazy. That never happened. This is what happened." And it's like, is that true, or is this just
like,
him?
We're a week past the point where we're supposed to have left, and like, they went on a drunken binge and
drinking
like
kerosene and honey.
Yeah, like, that's fucked. But speaking of, like, just Willem Dafoe's performance, like, this guy it was top notch. It was top notch. Like, and you think of how boring this movie should be, and every time he was on screen, I was entertained. And again, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I had no idea. Like, you think you're going one narrative, but then, like, I might be getting ahead of myself here, but like, Robert Pattinson sneaks up the stairs to look at him one night, and all of a sudden a tentacle goes across. What the fuck's going on?
See, now I knew that it was kind of Lovecraftian, and that there was some sort of Cthulhu like tie to this. I knew it was supposed to be like a creature feature almost, but I still could not fucking. At no point in the film could I tell you, okay, 1 happened, 2 happened, 3 is going to happen. Yeah. I couldn't create that linear design of what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Especially because, and this plays to what you're talking about, you don't really know what was in Robert Pattinson's mind versus what really happened, is because, like you said, Tim, his performance, Willem Dafoe's performance was all over the place. It was up and it was down and it was fucking everywhere. But I think that's because it was almost like the portrayal was in and out of Robert Pattinson's mind. You were probably seeing the reality of how he was at some times, but then you were seeing an exaggerated version of him being this crusty old fuck in Robert Pattinson's mind, and and crazy. Like, Robert Pattinson was making him out to be this insane bastard at points.
But I also like how, like, secretive Willem Dafoe was. Like, his keys that would unlock certain doors, and he would lock shit behind him, and it was like
he has something to hide.
Yeah, and I mean, again, that just plays up to Robert Pattinson's character. Like, you believe because you're following the narrative.
But how much of that is just his paranoia that we're seeing?
Exactly.
Yeah. I think at some point someone's going to super analyze this movie, and they're going to be able to clear cut what was the actual happenings and what was the madness kind of taking over.
But I feel the only way that we're ever going to get that for sure is if Robert Eggers comes out and fucking says, "Hey, this is what this story was."
Well, not
about.
even, because if you look at Inception, people were able to analyze, and there was like tells that you could say, okay, anytime this happened, this is when this was talking, or you look at The Thing and they say, okay, whenever their eyes were glistening, that was the thing. I think there's probably a tell in there somewheres, and that's part of the larger story they were trying to tell for the fans that were hyper vigilant. I think you'll see that come out.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. No, this will be this. I agree. This will be one of those movies that's analyzed for a while. Robert Pattinson's character,
not quite as good. Still a solid character.
Yeah, he really was.
Thomas Howard. Thomas Howard. They're both named Thomas.
Yes.
Interesting.
I don't mind Robert Pattinson. I mean, a lot of people just give him bullshit and hate because of, Twilight and everything else. So the guy made some fucking career choices that not everybody agrees with. He made his fucking millions.
Made a shitload of money. Good job.
Good job for him.
Well,
I didn't like the movies, but I don't have to fucking shit on him for it.
Yeah, but I mean, really, I put him in the same category as like Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, where they started off as something where it was almost like they were getting cast based on their looks, right? Mm. And then they developed into very talented fucking character actors. I feel that Robert Pattinson, like I always kind of, knew this guy could act. I can't remember the movie I watched him in. I can't fucking place it. And it wasn't Twilight, so don't make fun of me.
Was that the one where he was like the CEO in the fucking car?
Yeah.
Wasn't it like a Cronenberg flick or inspired by Cronenberg?
I think so.
I'll have to look that up real quick.
But I feel it like, okay, so you start this movie and you have this level of, okay, so you're watching it through the eyes of Thomas Howard, Robert Pattinson's character, and he's not very trusting of the other Thomas, and like you're slowly seeing him dip into madness because he's secluded on this island, and the majority of the time he's by himself because he's going around doing all these fixing this and cleaning that and clearing this and draining that and all this kind of stuff, and then like he starts exploring. And that's when I was like, yeah. And then like he's very suspicious of, Willem Dafoe, and okay. And then like, he sneaks up to Lighthouse to look under the grated floor, and Willem Dafoe looks like he's masturbating, and ejaculate drips down, and then all of a sudden there's fucking a tentacle that slids across. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then like how he didn't bring that up to him the next day, which I was like, that's weird. I liked his character. I liked both characters. I think they were different, and I liked the way the narrative played out their characters.
Yeah. The movie with Robert Pattinson, it was a Cronenberg flick. It was called Cosmopolis.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a really good movie.
Yeah.
And it took place like almost entirely in a fucking limousine.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. So yeah, Robert Pattinson's character. It was. I really liked the mustache at the time. It actually looked really good on him. I thought it was like really fitting. But his whole descent into madness. But let's talk for just 2 seconds. I mean, spoilers. We're reviewing the movie anyway. Let's talk about his reveal. So in the movie, he reveals to Willem Dafoe's character that his name isn't actually his name.
No.
And he like stole like the life from somebody else, basically, that he left for dead to start a whole new life and kind of run away. And
so that whole monologue, I could not fucking follow. I always watch movies with subtitles, and for whatever reason this time I did not. And I wish I did, because that whole monologue, I couldn't fucking understand what any of them were saying. I was like, okay, he's revealing something. It sounds like he killed someone or something like that. Okay. And he's saying his name's Tom now. Okay. But as far as the details of what happened, I honestly, it was so over my head.
Willem Dafoe starts saying, "You spilled the beans."
Yeah.
You told me the tale.
You spilled the beans.
So the monologue was essentially that he was a log roller. So he worked on the rivers with the logs in the logging industry. And there was this other guy named Tom who went under, hit his head, and he admits to basically sitting there and watching him drown and not wanting to give a shit or help him. And so he basically, the body drifted away, and he decided to take that guy's persona, his name and where he came from and everything that he knew about the guy from working with him for weeks, and walk away from this life and become him, settling elsewhere, trying to create another life for himself, trying to obviously get away from whatever bullshit life he had. So that's essentially what the monologue was. But yes, he spilled the beans. Yeah. Visual effects in this movie. This movie did have some CGI to it, obviously. But I gotta give it some hands down fucking credit. The practical effects in this movie were fucking astounding.
The fucking seagull? When he's thrashing that seagull around?
So let's give a little bit of credit here. Cassie Savoyer, she's you know, she made news like years ago in the Chronicle Herald and at HalCon for her costume for The Last Guardian with the puppet, and she's been doing puppetry and fabrication work since then. Cassie Savoyer is she did the seagulls.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know if she did all of them.
Well, she did the dead one and the one that he thrashed. The one that was in the cistern.
Dead one. I watched her make part of that because she was at a cosplay thing that we all go to every month called Cosplay Over Beverages, and she had a deadline, and she's literally gluing fucking feathers to this dead seagull. Yeah. And when it showed up in the movie, I was like, oh shit, right? So
did she get to keep the seagull?
Probably not.
No, probably not. No, I don't know. Yeah, but from what I remember, I mean, she did the one that was dead floating in the cistern, but I'm pretty sure that she also did the one that he thrashes against the rock. So it was those two, the two pieces. But that good fucking effects, like that thing held up, man. He beat the shit out of that.
Looked like a seagull.
It looked like a seagull, and he beat the shit out of it. It was great. It was a good scene. But the tentacles, there was some practical effects with the tentacles, and there was some CGI effects. The practical effects were done by a studio out of Montreal called Moreau Effects. Adrian Moreau, the guy is infamous for having done the X-Men movies, and no worries. He's done like the X-Men movies. He did some work on, I think it was Curse of Chucky or Cult of Chucky, one of the two. The movie Noah, he did like all the fucking practical effects for the animals that were on the barge or on Noah's Ark and shit like that. Like this guy, fucking crazy shit that this guy pulls off. So he came down to Yarmouth for Robert Eggers' movie and did some tentacle work in The Mermaid. So that's the other one that was incredible, man. When you see that mermaid in the full suit that she's got on,
I was gonna say that's all practical, right? Like that wasn't CG.
That was practical. That was an actress sitting in a silicone bodysuit that basically was a mermaid's bottom half that Robert Pattinson decides to have fun with.
That's what they do.
No, well, and the thing is that's to me the clear something's not right on this island when that happened, because it's like
he's fucking a mermaid. Something's not right on this island.
No, but that's what I mean. Like before it was you know, through his point of view, is he going crazy? Is he just making things up? Or is what he's seeing the truth? But then the mermaid showed up, and you knew he's fucked in the head, because there's not any mermaids on that island.
But William Dafoe character also talks about the one who he's replacing, and he went through the same thing. Said he went crazy and was talking about mermaids and creatures of the sea and all this.
So maybe it is legit happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got to question if Willem Dafoe or the island took the other guy, because he pulled up a crab pot one time and the guy's fucking head was in it.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, I found his head. It was in the crab pots. It was off the shore. And
Did you guys notice the one eye?
Yeah.
So the head that they pulled up had one eye, and so did the seagull?
Yep.
Yeah. And he was talking earlier about how the seagulls are the souls of sailors past or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I didn't notice that, but yeah, that's... Look at Josh.
Josh has notes.
Oh, always.
Oh, he's...
Greetings from Tromaville. I'm Lloyd Kaufman, president of Troma Entertainment and creator of the Toxic Avenger. You know, folks, when we're not making those great movies like Tromeo and Juliet and Return to Nukamai, aka Volume 2, the Troma team and I like to kick back and listen to. They Cast from the Coast. They Cast from the Coast is really the best entertainment, the best education, and the best emotional liberation that Lloyd Kaufman can possibly experience. Thank you.
And then there was this other really weird scene near the end where fucking Willem Dafoe looks like fucking Neptune at the end.
Yeah, weird.
No, not the part where he's all like a woman tentacle.
Okay, because that was weird.
There's like literally like he grabs Robert Pattinson's arm and it's outside and it's in the middle of a storm and like it's kind of slow motion. And he's got no shirt on, and he's got all these weird, and he looks like he's like Neptune. It was fucking cool. And his eyes are glowing, or his mouth's glowing. I can't. It's something.
Oh, the one where he's standing naked over Robert Pattinson, and all of a sudden he opens up his mouth, and it's like the lighthouse light coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And the weirdest part is that I was looking at it going, and they're like shaking, like they're moving, like they posed for that scene. It was just fucking weird looking, but yeah, it was funny.
I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was cool. But whatever.
Whatever. Oh man.
He's naked.
Standing
Pretty
over
much.
Robert Pattinson naked. Yeah. Okay.
There's a lot of whacking it. There's a lot of naked.
Okay, so let's talk about
a lot of
this.
degeneracy happening with these two young men.
There is. So let's talk about that for a second here. Robert Pattinson fucking whacks it quite a bit in this movie. But there's one scene where we were talking about it real quick before the show.
Why are we even talking about this? You fucking weirdo. You fucking weirdo.
So I'm just saying. It's
fucking
open.
Weirdo. Go ahead. Put it out there. Let people think that this is what our podcast is about. Go ahead.
So I had a note after watching this movie. There was the one scene where Robert Pattinson
fucking paused it and zoomed in and watched it.
I'm just gonna say,
I was watching the movie
before
on the
Adam
projector.
explains it. I'm pretty sure Adam made this up in his head because
Yeah.
that's not what me and Tim saw in the film at all. I think that Adam wanted this to happen so badly, he himself went mad and created the scene in his head. I think that's what happened. Now, go ahead, Adam.
I had the
Explain
curse
what
of the
you
Lighthouse.
saw during this
Let's
film.
hear about the scene.
The scene. So the scene is where Robert Pattinson's re-shingling the roof, and there's a hole, and he looks down, and it's literally just Willem Dafoe's ass hanging out of his onesie. Like, it is his one piece, right? But I swear, like, I'm watching this going, what the fuck? And I swear it looked like it was like a ghost sodomy scene of some kind. Like, I swear this is what it looked like to me. But you guys are saying it's just that he was...
Explain how you saw the cheeks open.
Well, it looked like his cheeks were like shifting and like opening and like it looked like someone.
No. So what actually happened? I'm pretty confident. When you first get introduced to the character and he goes into the bedroom and he pulls the Little Mermaid out of a hole in the bed, I think what it was William Dafoe's character was on that bed sticking his bird in the hole. And that's why Robert Pattinson's character was so mad, because he looked in, he's like, that's my bed, for one.
That's my glory hole.
You got your bird in my bird hole.
I
think that's
that later. Okay, fine. Whatever, man.
There
I'm
was
just
no
like...
cheek spreadery.
It was fucked, man. I'm telling you right now. Tim's looking up the video. He's like, I'm going to look at this myself. I'm going to zoom in. See if I can get some cheek
definition.
High definition cheek spreading. But
No,
you won't get that because...
there's nothing.
You won't get any high definition anyway, because the movie was made to be filmed like it was like fucking old film.
Yeah, the aspect ratio of this film is pretty unique.
It was
You want to talk
4:3,
about
like
the
old
nominations? Yeah.
It was very immersive. Like
Yep.
I felt like I was watching a really old movie.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of grainy where it's not quite black and white.
Yeah. It had a very, very, very good cinematic feel to it. It really did. Right down to just the scenes where it's like, you know, the boat in the water at the beginning, taking the waves, and Robert Eggers in this movie really had a very Kubrick eye when it came to how he like set up his shots. There was a lot that was just very particularly set, you know, like two people and the one person and the, you know what I mean? Like it was very well done. So I can imagine why he gets the nod for it. So
it was a very healthy balance of quote realistic and what I felt was kind of pretentious. Like some of the dialogue monologues felt very Shakespearean, which is fine. Don't get me wrong, I like that. And then a lot of the scenes were very artsy fartsy. But again, it was what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm intrigued. I'd like to see what Robert Eggers is coming up with next. I mean, This is the kind of movie now that he's officially got an Oscar nod too. This is going to be the time when he's going to, you know, announce that he's got a new script and people are going to be fucking clamoring for it. And you're going to see like another ring of, you know, pretty decent actors that are starring in a Robert Eggers film. I mean, let's face it.
Good on D-Boyer. How many cosplayers can say they worked on an Oscar-nominated film? That's pretty
true.
Cool.
That is true. That is true. Very good for her. So, yeah. So, visual effects, story, characters, everything all about this. Josh, what do you have for notes?
Okay.
Do you have any ghost sodomy notes?
No, I didn't. That scene actually didn't happen, Adam. That's all in your head, bud.
You're seeing things that you're going all Robert Pattinson on us.
You're going mad.
All right. Continue with
the
your
Lighthouse. These notes were taken February 2nd, 2020, 9:18 p.m. to set the mood.
9:18 p.m.
Yeah. First introduction of the characters. Holy facial hair. William Dafoe's character looks like Handsome Pete from The Simpsons. If you can get a picture of Handsome Pete, and we'll just stick it over in the little box there, so people can recall that episode.
Other side, but yes.
Okay. 5 minutes before the first word is said. This really sets the mood, and I actually really like that. You get a lot of character introduction. You see the character, and it's legitimately 5 minutes in before someone even says a word.
That's cool.
It was. I wrote lighthouse attendant jerk off statue. Okay. So yeah, they found a little I'm thinking it's just been passed down over the years of lighthouse attendants. They get this little statue of a mermaid.
They all get to whack to it.
Yep.
It's got the boobies on it.
Farts. This movie really is big on making it known that William Dafoe likes to fart.
Yep.
And then they mentioned 4 weeks. I wrote 4 weeks with this jackass. Poor Robert. More farts. And then at one point you see Robert Pattinson's character up on this ladder. It's all rickety, and I said, I don't think that ladder is OH&S approved. It's definitely not been passed by occupational health and safety. And as we continue to see, all the acts this poor motherfucker is doing is just putting himself in danger. He's falling and cranking his head.
Yep.
He's mad he caught the captain banging his bang hole. That would be the scene that Adam has created in his mind. He looks way too confused when he saw a seagull. You're in Nova Scotia. That's like our national bird.
New England in this case.
No, I suppose. But the first time the seagull flies by, he's like, what is that? It's like, have you never seen a fucking seagull?
Exactly.
I like the cut of this captain's jib. He's a cutthroat MFer. I don't know what he said to make me want to write that, but I like the cut of his jib. It's bad luck to kill a seabird. And then I wrote, did I fucking stutter? Because then I think he probably killed the seabird.
Yep.
And then I wrote, spanking the old sea monkey. Whacking it in the tool shed.
Oh my god! Whacking it in my tool shed.
And then there's some genuinely amazing pieces of dialogue in this film. So whenever there was one that I really liked, I wrote that down. And one of the phrases used was "sparkle like a sperm whale's pecker." It will make it sparkle like a sperm whale's pecker.
Nice. Apparently, sperm whales have sparkly peckers. Okay.
And then I think one of the characters said, "Quit your flailing, lad." and then he starts to flail. And he goes, he did warn you. I mean, you fell. It's your own fault.
Oh, when he's hanging him over the side of the lighthouse when he's painting
says,
it.
Quit
your
flailing,
flailing.
lad.
I'm
and
not!
He flailing around. He falls down. It's like, well, fuck, you probably should have listened. You probably wouldn't have fell.
Knocked himself unconscious for a good hour.
Yeah. So he's going on top of the lighthouse to bang Cthulhu. That would have been the scene with the weird tentacle thing. I still don't really understand what's going on up there.
I don't think you're supposed to.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head there. And then I've had enough of these motherfucking seagulls on this motherfucking lighthouse. And then he trashed the shit out of that bird. We were watching it. I was watching it with Allison, and she just looked at me like, "What the fuck?" He's just relentless, pounding the shit out of the seagull. Rum and Atlantic lobster for your last meal. I said, well, solid choice. Find your own ocean kraken to bang. This is my lighthouse. I wrote that down. Stay off the black rocks. So at one point he was like all up on the black rocks. I was like,
Peggy's Cove reference, nice.
Yeah. Oh, and then the shit hit his fucking face when he threw the chamber pots out.
Oh,
that
was gross.
I forgive all other sins. The shit flew right up in his face, and then you hear the seagulls laughing. They're laughing at him. Relentless. Anyone who doesn't like this part is cold-hearted, and I don't want to talk to them anymore. I wrote that. They didn't come. No shit. Look outside, bro. It's a shit storm. When he was like right surprised that they didn't come, he's like, well, maybe we just missed them. No, it's a fucking hurricane out. Yeah. And he talked about how he'd fuck his steak. I was like, yeah, that's weird. You shouldn't fuck your steak. And then he started insulting the man's cooking, and then he legit started cursing the boy because he didn't like his lobster. Like he was cursing him under Neptune and the sea krakens and wishing
he doesn't blink the whole time.
Sincere and just relentless. And then I wrote, man, who wrote this dialogue? Very Shakespearean. And then I wrote, fart joke again, okay. And then I wrote, just drunk and jerking it off all day long. So I think that was after they got the other stash, and that's just all they were doing all day long. Just getting drunk and dancing and yanking it.
Wow. It's true. It's pretty much what they were just fucking doing.
One-eyed man, soul, the one-eyed seagull. Okay, I already made that connection there where we found that the one-eyed head there. Yeah. And that was the soul of the one-eyed seagull. Now, what the fuck is he admitting? I legit can't make any sense of this drunken rambling. Did he kill someone? And that was when I was trying to piece together what the fuck he was admitting to.
Yeah.
And then I just wrote reverse psychology big time. I think that's the scene where he finally says, no, you're crazy. You just took the axe to the ship. Like, what? You're losing your mind. Yeah. Oh my God, are they drinking kerosene and honey? Yeah.
Yep, they are.
They are. And then, at the moment when Robert Pattinson's character starts to turn on him and really starts to give it to this old man, he looks to him, he goes, and I'm sick of your goddamn old fart. Which makes all the previous fart jokes okay, because they understand what it is in the film, and they said that. And then another excellent piece of dialogue in this film. Hot onions fucked the shithouse. When something is so smelly, it smells like hot onions fucked the shithouse.
I do like that one. That's good.
Yeah. Kill him and go to the top of the lighthouse. I just, at this point, really wanted to see the monster, even though we didn't get to see it, which is disappointing. Dismissed without pay for whacking it in the tool shed.
Oh, the log entry in the book.
The ledger, and he's got like all the things he's been doing wrong. And fuck. And then when they're burying him alive, I wrote, I can actually taste the dirt in my mouth. Whoever designed this scene did such a good job. I could feel like my heart was pulsating, and I could taste dirt in my mouth when they were doing it. It was so good.
Yeah, no, that was.
And then I don't know what the fuck he's saying, but the imagery is really good. And then smoking with an oil can, what could possibly go wrong? And then just what a strange ending. I did not know what happened. So he opened up the lantern, he looked inside, and then just went full on crazy, I guess, or what? He fell down
whatever
the
he saw, he fell down the stairs. I'm assuming that he was pretty fucked up from falling down the lighthouse. And then the next scene, it shows him being fucking eaten alive by fucking seagulls.
Naked on the beach eaten by seagulls. I don't see that connection. He fell down the stairs.
Even weirder because he had clothes on when he fell.
Yeah,
and now he's just buck naked on the rocks, on the black rocks, getting eaten by seagulls, pecked to death. Yeah. Yeah. I think that there was more to it that just isn't going to be explained. Like, he fell down, he got hurt, and he probably went fucking rake starving mad and fucking threw off his clothes and thought he was fucking another mermaid, and instead he was getting his pecker pecked off by fucking seagulls, so.
Josh likes to call his bird.
His bird.
Stick his bird in his hole.
Yeah.
His bird hole.
Now, interestingly enough, I'm surprised you didn't make a note about the fact that he made Willem Dafoe's character act like a fucking dog.
Yeah, that's true too.
That was fucked up, man. He was like, crazy. "Come, boy,"
and he went along with it. That's what's more fucked up, which leads to the fact that I think it's all in his mind, because there's no way Willem Dafoe's character went along with that.
No, I think he would have dragged him out and threw him in the hole.
Yeah,
like he was unconscious or already dead. You know what I mean? So. But no, that was, I agree. The scene where he was getting fucking buried alive and he's talking and the fucking dirt getting in his mouth and shit, I was kind of like, wow, like this is a little claustrophobic, you know what I mean, when it was happening. Yeah. Okay. So, gentlemen, I think it comes time to actually give our kind of final thoughts on this movie. Let's start with Tim.
My final thoughts.
Well, give it a highly recommended. It's the greatest movie ever made. Top score.
Extra bonuses for ghost sodomy.
That didn't happen, Adam.
I liked it, but I'll never watch it again. No. Like, it's one of those type of movies. Like, I liked it. I appreciated what it was trying to do. One thing I find Robert Eggers is really good is setting a tone. Like, you know, you look at what he did in The Witch and then what he did in this. Like, he's very good at setting a tone. I kind of, you know, empathize with the characters being alone and like isolated. I felt that isolation. When shit got weird, I felt that, like, what the fuck? What are they doing? I really enjoyed it. I thought Willem Dafoe's performance was fucking amazing. Robert Pattinson was really good too. This movie accomplished what it was supposed to accomplish, and I liked it. But rating it is weird because I want people to see it. So I rated R recommended. Like, I'm recommending it to you, but it's one of those seen it once, I'm done. Like, it's not a repeat viewing for me, unless I was trying to prove Adam's crazy scene. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've seen it once, I enjoyed it, but I'll never watch it again. But I've watched The Witch like multiple times. I like The Witch.
Which is good.
So, I very tentatively rated R. I recommend it.
Okay. Josh?
I agree with a lot of those sentiments. I think I will rewatch it, but not to watch it. I want to analyze this movie and really try to fucking understand anything that I can. And I'm probably going to have to rewatch dialogue.
I think 80% of your problem will be solved with subtitles.
Subtitles, yeah.
True.
It's weird because I watch everything with fucking subtitles. I do.
The one time that you need
but
them.
I didn't watch this. I said, yeah, they're in a lighthouse. I don't think it's going to be labor intensive to fucking hear what these people are saying. But they throw the accents on, and then you throw on this weird slang, and yeah. I don't know. I've said everything I need to say about this movie already. I rate it a G for good, with this caveat. If you live in Nova Scotia, watch this movie. It has a lot of cool things in it that you'll pick up on, and a lot of cool people locally worked on it. So if you live in Nova Scotia and are a horror fan, watch this movie. I recommend it to you. But for the general public, I had to rate it a G.
Fair enough. I liked the movie. I really did like the movie. Josh, you made a very good point. You really do owe yourself to see this movie if you're any form of a New Englander, Maritimer from Nova Scotia, because of the work that had been done on this movie by local people. It is an interesting, somewhat love letter to old-timey maritime stories, stories of old. Though
I think you accomplished you said old-timey
stories of old. Yeah.
Oh shit.
But the movie does fall flat on a couple things, because I also agree with Tim. There's no real repeatability in this movie for me. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. I might.
There's a certain scene you'll rewatch.
Just to analyze it again.
He's gonna have a whole little Robert Pattinson out in the tool shed moment, but
so,
Adam's got it on his phone.
I've got the HD version, guys.
Fuck.
It is a good movie, though. I mean, I can't shit on it. It's Oscar nominated. It is visually a great movie. The special effects, the practical effects are, blow you away good. But I can't get past the fact that I don't know if I'd ever want to actually sit down and watch this from start to finish again. So with that, I'm probably only going to rate this movie a PG. Pretty good. And
that's the lowest score Adam's ever given.
I think for the first time, the three of us have actually disagreed entirely.
Different
views.
Views.
We're not. Like,
we all have the same sentiment. We're just where we feel it falls on the scale is different. That's all.
Yeah, like I said, I rated R to recommend it because I want people to see it.
Yep.
But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I watched it once and that's enough for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's good. It's pretty good. But I decided to rate it a little higher just to, hey, watch this, recommend it.
Yep. That's fair.
No.
You're wrong, but that's fair.
How am I wrong? I said basically the same thing you fucking did.
Josh said everybody's wrong tonight. I was wrong about the ghost sodomy. You're wrong about
you are wrong. You are wrong.
Sorry, not wrong. You just have a fascination with ghost sodomy, so much so that you created it in a scene in a movie which has nothing to do with ghost sodomy.
Wouldn't it be, Josh, wouldn't it be fucked if we rewatch it and ass cheeks move and like Adam?
Like this is the most subtle.
I fucking told you.
Wow. But I no.
Like, how close were you watching these cheeks that you physically saw an opening?
I was watching it on like my 90-inch projector screen. Okay.
You were right in there.
The ass cheeks were right there. All right.
You could smell it. It smelled like an onion fucked to the shithouse.
Well.
Nice. All right, so we have a G, an R, and a PG for our ratings. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in and checking out this episode while we reviewed The Lighthouse from Robert Eggers. So please, until next time, check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, all of the major podcasting platforms out there. We're on everything. Like the pages, subscribe, share it out, tell your friends. We're on Patreon as well, so open up your hearts and your wallets. And until next time, Tim.
Stay spooky, everybody.
Josh.
Sparklier than a sperm whale's pecker. That's gold. Fucking gold.
Sparklier than a sperm whale's pecker. Have a good night, everybody. See you next time.